All right, what's good? What's good, man? Welcome back to the channel. Let's chop it up. Mr. Sandman, what's going on with you, man? Said Fannon, fan boxing, coking back with a hit. What? I don't know what that was. Oh, boxing. You said boxing. What's good, man? Yeah, boxing back, man. Boxing's back, dude. Boxing's coming back with the hit, yes, sir. New Juice said, "You see the Instagram live with Raleigh and Tiafimo getting in on Tank's weight? Dog, sounds like two jealous little girls to me. Don't worry about it, Tiafimo. Eventually, you'll get on pay-per-view. Raleigh, you sit back and relax. Eventually, somebody will know who the fuck you are." Man. I tell you what, man. Gervonta Davis need to be real thankful for Floyd Mayweather Jr., man. I know he gets mad with Floyd Mayweather Jr. sometimes, dude, but Floyd Mayweather Jr., dude, has hooked that dude up huge. Brian Cousins in the building. What's good, man? Stephen J., what's happening with you, man? All right, we'll just wait for people to roll on in. We got 22 people in the building so far, 20 likes. Let's get the likes over 22. That would be what's up. Nuke Juice said, Tio needs to worry about his own weight sitting there eating Popeyes. Man, Gervonta Davis is going to make weight, and he's going to make money. It's going to be all good, man. Those guys, you're going to have something to say, man, something fun to say. But I actually haven't heard. I didn't see the Instagram live post. This is the first that I've heard about it, Nuke Juice. Oh, by the way, Nuke Juice, I got another video, a Patreon video coming up that is going to actually, it is just got done processing. Yes, it did. It just got done processing, and it is on racism in boxing. It is going to be on the Patreon, and I'm also going to upload it for members onto the YouTube channel. So you guys, after about a day or two, it won't be up there immediately. In about a day or two, it'll be up there for the members. But I did one on the Patreon. I think you guys will enjoy it, but I want to make sure that the patrons get a chance to see it first. Then after that, I'm going to put it up on the channel for just channel members. Not just, you won't be able to see it if you just come to the page. You're going to have to be a channel member to see it, because it's one of the things, because it's associated with race, and I'm not putting his things where I speak as forthrightly as I spoke in that video onto the regular YouTube page. Roy Jones versus Tyson happening September 12th. Let's see, dog. Let's see. I'll wait on that. But I don't know why in the fuck I want to see that. Like, for what? I mean, I guess it's a good. I take that back. That wouldn't be too bad, man. That wouldn't be too bad. You say you're taking Mike Tyson all day. I don't know. I might take Roy Jones in that. Roy Jones Jr. has been much more active. And Tyson Fury is bigger, but Roy Jones Jr. is a lot more active, man. I mean, he's fought within the last couple of years. He stays busy. He stays in the gym. I don't believe that about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, I think Mike Tyson might have, got him a little juice. Roy born the same year as you for 9. Yeah, he's a little older. I think Roy Jones is a few months older than me. Let me see. American Russia. Can you believe this shit? They got in. Yeah, he's a couple months older than me. Stole my athleticism, dog. Gave that motherfucker all the shit. Should have gave it to me. Said Roy has no chin. Tarver called and told me. Oh, Tarver called and told me for now. He said Roy ain't got. I mean, she ain't got to tell you Roy ain't got a chin. Roy's chin been looking like shit. Been looking like shit. Been looking like shit, dude. For real. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. You an old man, Fannon? Hey, man, I'm 51 years old. Whatever you want to call that, that's what I am. If you call that an old man, I'm an old ass man, dog. It's gonna be what it is, dude. And my man, Big Dog Willie in the super chat said, "P.S. Public service announcement: fuck Dillian White, Leo Santa Cruz, and the WBC." Yeah, you know, Leo Santa Cruz is a fucking ass. I mean, God, dog, man. Leo Santa Cruz gonna get his ass whooped though. He ain't gonna. The ducking is over. Okay, there is no more Leo Santa Cruz ducking. He's now jumped in there with Gervonta Davis, and he's going to get the brakes beaten off him. Said, time for you to schedule a match with the UK troll for what? I wanted to get into it with people yesterday. I don't feel like getting it in today. Mr. Sheldon said, you just 11 years older than me. You ain't that old. Dog, look. The Johnson works just fine. You know, with the exception of my knees hurting all the fucking time. Just one knee, really. God, dog, I can hear that motherfucker move. When I move, my knee goes crack, crack. Other than that, I'm straight. You know what I mean? I figured, I'm halfway done. You got to die. Hey, we all on Earth. We're all on Earth for a certain amount of time. We don't know what the time is, but I know this. When I hit 51, I passed the halfway mark, dog. You know what I mean? I passed the halfway mark. So if I get to 70, if you get to 80 years old, your life is a success. You know what I'm saying? You get to 80 years old, your shit was a success. And to a certain degree, your shit had to be a success. Because otherwise, you motherfucker wouldn't have made there. He said both track knees. Yeah, dog. I got track knees like a motherfucker on my left leg. Crazy. I got jumpers, ankles. I got all kind of shit hurting on me. Said if you lose weight, it's easier on the joint. Yeah, I'm trying my best. Shit stays on. You know what I'm saying? But nah, dude, I had reconstructive surgery on my left knee, so that shit it's gonna be easier on the joint, but that shit ain't never coming back. My knees are just fucked, period, dude. What's going on, Kevin Dunbar? Roy got exposed for jumping up and down weight. He didn't have a bad chin. Stop now. His ass got a bad. That motherfucker. I've seen him go to sleep. I've seen him go snooze. But it is what it is, man. I ain't gonna belabor that conversation too much, man. But let's talk about some more of the drab. Not every live stream can I talk about the exciting, controversial stuff in boxing. Today we're going to have to give credit to where credit is due. What's going on, Pugilism? Nino Brown in the building. Man, I'm excited about these fights. The Charlos fighting on the same card. What do you think the chances of both of those guys getting through that fight? That is fighting. Those fights are close enough where it makes me wonder, like, are both of them going to win their fight? You know what I mean? If they both win their fights, I said they fights. If they both win their fights, that says something about them Charlos, dude. They are that's a special family of boxers, dog. If both of those guys can get out of those fights, because neither one of them are easy fights. Both of them, I think the toughest match is going to probably be the Jermall versus Derevyanchenko. BFTB in the building. What's good, man? How you feeling? Yeah, the last time they fought together, one of them lost. But, I don't think really either one of them lost those. For me, I know what the official score was. But for me, I don't think either one of those guys really lost those fights, man. Like they were putting way too much on that fight with Matt Korobov. That shit, dude. Jermall Charlo showed he was an excellent fucking fighter in that Matt Korobov fight. Because Matt Korobov wasn't giving him anything to work with. And although Matt Korobov wasn't giving him anything to work with, he still found a way to win. Matt Carball was causing him all kind of problems from that southpaw stance with that lead right hand, and just kept hitting him with the lead right hand, and but Jermall eventually just took it away from him, and then once Jermall took that straight right hand away from Korobov, he won. I think he won every round. But it showed that that he was a thinking man, And Jermall Charlo showed that he was a very smart fighter. Similar to like Anthony Joshua. Fannon, can I put a picture link in the chat? Nothing nasty. I mean, ain't nothing stopping you. I'm not gonna be able to see it, put a link to yeah, I guess so. Sure, go ahead, man. Yeah. I can't see it. I'm not gonna be able to see it from this angle. But don't give me no strikes up in this joint, man. Put no kink dog shit in there, dog. Okay, no kinky kink, no kink kank up in this joint. Yeah, it said Korobov was almost up out of there. He nearly stopped Korobov in the 11th and the 12th. Yeah, he did. But it was that straight right. So straight right. Somebody straight right in it. Yeah. Oh, images. I don't even know if I can get this mug. What kind of trouble you trying to start, dog? Why are you showing Stephen Bishop? Who the fuck is Stephen Bishop? Nigga looks like my cousin. He looks like my nephew. He's from Criminal Minds. Oh, he's an actor or something? Yeah. He looks like my nephew. I think you're trying to make fun of me, dog. Is that who this dude look like? That don't look like me. Hell no. That don't look like me, dog. He look a little mwah, mwah. See, he ain't got these. You know what I mean? He ain't got dog. He ain't got the, hey man, I'm working on the muscularity, dog. He ain't got the muscularity. He a little soft, he a little thin through here, man. Much love in that super chat though, General Squirrels. Appreciate that, man. B&B Boxing in the building. Scam link, beware. Nah, it ain't a scam link. We know General Squirrels. Dude, you can't put no spam link in this chat. I've disabled that shit. So the only people that can put links in the chat are people that are already trusted. You know what I mean? Jermell showed he can. Jermall showed that he can make adjustments. That left hook almost took Korobov off. Yes, sir. He said you look tougher than him for now. I'm just older, and I got like the. I don't look sweet like that. Like I ain't no. He look like a mwah mwah. That ain't me, homie. Fannon look like a young Stacey King from the Bulls. Fuck Stacey King. Okay, I got called that shit. Remember when I had a box cut? I used to get that shit all the time, dog. Stacey King was a bum, though. Don't be trying to say I look like no bums. God, dog, I would rather, even though Kenyon Martin ain't nothing pretty to look at, shit, I took Kenyon. People would say I look like Kenyon Martin. I'll take Kenyon Martin over, what the fuck is his name? Roy Jones. Hey, I don't know, man. Yeah, let's see it. I know. Let's see it. Let's see that shit happen, dog. Roy Jones versus Tyson in September. Somebody's ass gonna get killed, homie. Somebody's ass gonna get beat up real bad. Look, man, I don't want to hear none of that, dog. I look like me. Y'all just always trying to put me in the. Y'all just always trying to put me in a group with some bald headed yellow Negro. We all don't all look alike, dog. Steve J said, "What do you think about the titles in both weight classes being on the line for Tank versus Leo? As long as Tank, I mean, it's cool. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it because one of the belts don't matter. I mean, one of them is a bullshit belt. The WBA regular 135-pound title, Tank's belt is bullshit. Nah, man, I ain't related to Tom Joyner. I mean, Tank's belt is bullshit. So I don't think anything about. I think like next to nothing about that. And then, but as far as them both fighting, as long as Tank Davis comes in under, as long as he weighs 130 or below, why not? There's no rule saying that you have to weigh over 130 pounds to fight for the 135-pound championship. But that's a doo-doo ass fucking belt. So who the fuck cares? The WBC, the WBA, the real WBA champion is Vasily Lomachenko. Yeah, he said Tom Joyner. Y'all trying to fuck me over with Tom Joyner, dog. Come on, man. Can I get some Boris Kojos or something? That's who I always thought that I resembled. Boris Kojo. Yeah, Eddie said that, man. But yeah, so, you know, dude, I think it's a danger. It's just a funny situation. Somebody said that they had it, what was it, a 30% chance or some shit like that? Who this dude look like? You funny, man. Oh, Sign of the Times said Rosario is bigger and stronger than Charlo, but he don't have the movement and he is stiff. I don't know. Is he? Is he bigger than Jermell? Is he bigger than Jermell? I mean, he probably does look like he can wind up being at 168 pounds, though, for sure. He does look like that. But, you know, Jermell's not a little 154, man. Richard Jefferson. Damn, can I get the hops? Can I get the hops? Richard Jefferson. Colbert has a decent fight, pretty good lineup. Yeah. Oh, Dan, Mike Coppinger said the only fight that he is interested in, other than non-pay-per-view, that he was interested in is Nonito Donaire and O'Bali. How the fuck? Man, I swear to God, dog. These people be acting like they watching O'Bali. O'Bali's a good fighter. Like a Baranachek. He's like a 118-pound Ivan Baranachek. What the fuck is so special about what is it, Noureddin O'Bali? I mean, he's, like I say, he's a good fighter. But those are that's just the only reason people give half a shit about him is because he's the guy that they're trying to set up to fight Monster Inoue. The Monster Inoue probably will not fight. But why you can't be intrigued for the fight between, let me pull up this lineup, dog. Let me pull up this lineup. I got the world's ugliest thumbnail up today, but I didn't give a shit, dog. I was trying to get Nunn in the ring with Roy. Michael Nunn, he did just get done beating somebody up, didn't he? Man, what's going on? Jedi King Pudge, man. You know what, dog? Much love in that super chat, dog, because I see you over there over on God, dog, I saw you over on Trill Boxing Talk last morning. I was like, damn, how come I don't ever see Jedi King Pudge over in my on the channel, man? Thank you so much for showing up today, man. I appreciate you, man. You said always dropping dope content on these haters consistently. Fucking well right. You fucking well right, I do. These guys get on my fucking nerves, dog. But I said, hey, in this video that's coming up on the Patreon, actually, let me do something real quick. Save myself some time. What's going on, H-Town, dog? I'm lighting into these dudes. Because it's just, I'm convinced it is what it is now, all right? It's just, I get it now, okay? I get it now. Like, that whole Don King, like, my original idea about boxing, like, when I first started watching boxing, I noticed that it was like Don King has the heavyweights and Bob Arum in Top Rank, specialize in the smaller weight classes. Right now, Bob Arum every once in a while would have, a bigger fighter. He would have a heavyweight. He would have a bigger guy. But for the most part, he was fucking around like the Oscar De La Hoyas, the Sugar Ray Leonards, that type of fight. He was kind of down. That's how I saw it. But I saw like the heavyweight division. No, Allen Iverson's not 6 feet. Mike Coppinger is full of shit. Don't he work for Hearns? Look, dude, these guys are just so far up each other's asses about, the fighters that are being represented by Top Rank. That's what it is. They want to see Top Rank like fighters. How old is Don King? Don King has got to be pushing 90. I mean, he's the same age as my dad. He's older than my dad. So he must be pushing somebody. He's pushing up. He's in his 80s. Oh, man, what's going on, Lonnie DeCarlo? Much love in that super chat. He says, showing love for Fannon and Don. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. I thought Iverson looked 6 foot when I met him. Iverson the same height as Chris Paul. I don't know, man. He ain't the biggest motherfucker in the world. I know that. But he's a great fighter. He's a great basketball player. Yeah, Mike Coppinger, dog. I don't know if he works for Eddie Hearn or not. These motherfuckers probably ain't paid by Hearn. There ain't no fucking fights. There ain't no fights. But these guys don't really know boxing. I think they have not only convinced, I used to think that they were just trying to convince people that these guys were better fighters. I don't believe that shit anymore. I just think these motherfuckers are fucking flat out like poisoned by skin color. Because that's the only shit that can make sense to me. Because I'm watching all these guys fight. Like, I watch O'Bali fight. I know who all these guys are. I've seen all of these guys fight. I can show you shit. I should show you. Let me see if I can show you this. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can show you my files. Wonder if I can show you my files. Hold on one second. What the fuck happened? Okay. Hold on one second. All right. I'm going to see if I can show you this. Why is this thing up? Get out of here, man. Fucking garbage. Give me 1 second. All right, so this is let me show you something. All right, you see that? These are my files. Okay? These are my files on all of the fucking champions in boxing, right? So you got like the minimum weights, right? And every one of these dudes, I got their fights, right? This is how I study boxing, right? See that? I don't think there's any. All of these, right? So these are the boxing. These are the weight classes, 17 weight classes. These are all the champions that I got tape on. Actually, I don't got the better be up in there yet. I think I got all the way up to here. What did I get to? I got past him. I got past him. Right. So anyway, these guys, you guys all know all these guys. Spence, Crawford, Porter. I think I might. Did I get all? No, I didn't get to super middleweights. So anyway, I stopped. I've gotten to this point right. Where did I get to? I got it started on the junior. I got started on the 154-pound division. Okay, so I got caught. So I know all these fucking fighters. Okay, I know all these fighters. I have all of them. I have every fight that's available for these guys. Be any champion in boxing up until the 154-pound weight division, because that's where I stopped. Dude, I have watched all these dudes fight. I have broken all of these fighters down, man. And I'm telling you, for these guys to think somebody like Nonito Donaire, but like somebody like now Monster Inoue is a good fighter, but like to think that O'Bali is the same level fighter as Jermall Charlo, you motherfuckers are nuts. And there ain't no way you watch these fights. Because if you looked at the fights and then you look at it and say, okay, how do I judge how good a fighter is? And you say, well, how do you judge fights? That should tell you whether or not somebody is a good basketball player, right? Well, how's somebody a good basketball player? They know how to shoot, they know how to dribble, and they know how to defend, right? And you look at all of the technical aspects of basketball, and you say, okay, that's who I think the best basketball player is, right? At a particular position or whatever. When you look at boxing, how do you score boxing? Defense, effective aggressiveness, clean, effective punching, and ring generalship. Those are the 4 areas of scoring criteria for boxing. So why would, when you look at a fighter and you determine who you think is the better fighter, why would you look outside of the boxing scoring criteria, right? But if you look at it, you'll see those little motherfuckers defense sucks. Their defense sucks. From 105 pounds to about 118 pounds, dude, is rock'em sock'em robots, dude. These guys are throwing a bunch of fucking punches. They're getting hit with a bunch of punches. And if they tried to fight the same way if O'Bali tried to fight the same way he fights at 115, at 147, his ass is going to get laid the fuck out because he's fighting guys that have more power. So when they have more power, you need more defense. That's why people say, you know, they like the pound for pound conversation around Sugar Ray Robinson that's why they said it was him, because he had the best combination of those 4 scoring criteria, the 4 pillars of boxing. Just like, and shout out to Scrapbook Boxing, who was the first person to ever really put me on to the symbology of boxing. But you have in the 4 corners of the ring, right, or 4 corners of the globe, north, east, south, west, right? North, east, south, west. You have the 4 scoring criteria of boxing: effective punching. Clean, effective punching, and effective aggressiveness are both offensive, and then your 2 defensive skill sets, which are ring generalship and defense, right? And so that's how you're supposed to judge it. That's why they said Ray Robinson was the most well-rounded of all fighters. And those guys tend to be in the middle weight classes because the middle weight classes have the best balance of all those things. So example, you'd say like a guy, when you're fighting at 108 pounds, there's not, dude, 108 pound guy, you can take a shot from a 108 pound guy. A 108 pound guy can take a shot from an 108 pound guy. But that same thing doesn't carry up to heavyweight. Any heavyweight can sleep any heavyweight, because at that portion of boxing, the clean and effective punching starts to really outweigh ring generalship and really outweigh defense, right? There's not, like people say, Tyson Fury has good defense and movement for a guy that big, but he doesn't have the type of ring generalship or the type of movement or, you know, the type of offense to defense type of skill set that Terrence Crawford has, or shit, even Errol Spence has. Those type of things tend to gravitate towards the middle weight classes from about 126 to 130 up to around about maybe the 168 pound, 175 pound division. But when you go past those extremes, either on this side, on the smaller side, the need for defense is significantly less. But when you get to heavyweight, the need for defense is higher. So they put less, there's less punch output. People are a lot more careful about getting stuck. So that's why you see more grappling, more holding, more trying to stay on the inside. So you look at all of these things and then you see who these people like loading up pound for pound lists with guys that weigh 108 pounds or trying to slap up in there guys that are heavyweights. How does that work with the 4 scoring criteria of boxing? In my estimation, it doesn't. But they find a way to ignore look at all the champions in the weight classes that they ignore for these lists, right? You have people at lightweight. You have people at, dude, you don't even hear anybody mentioning Jose Ramirez at 140 pounds. right? Only the welterweights. And what did Terrence Crawford? Terrence Crawford got to fucking do astronomical shit to get put at number 3. Anyway, I'm sorry. I could go on all day about that dumb shit, man. I really could, dude. I could go on all day. They do lie on NBA heights. KG not 6'11", and Barkley wasn't 6'6". Dude, Kevin Garnett is every bit of motherfucking 7 feet tall. Kevin Garnett is every bit of 7 feet tall. That's a big ass. That's a tall ass man. And Charles Barkley looked 6'6" to me. They listed him at 6'4", but that is a big ass man. Big ass man at that weight class. But anyway, I love Sweet Pea or Pernell Whitaker. Yeah, he's the shit, dude. Fannon, these boxing writers don't know half the shit you are teaching us about. They just go with whose promoter bought them dinner. It seems like that. It seems like that. Like, it seems like it. Yeah, he said, Junior B, the lower weight classes are not as deep. Yeah, they're literally not as deep. They're literally not as deep. Like, watch this shit. I'll do, since we just talking today. And like I said, we can't do. Daryl Lightfoot said, hey, Fannon, does it make Haney look bad if he has more trouble with Gamboa than Tank did? Or is it just a step up fight either way? I don't think that it's going to, I don't think anything would make Devin Haney look bad if he didn't, if he had more trouble with Gamboa. Gamboa is a very, very good fighter, man, and fights change. You know what I mean? Like, you can have a good performance, you can have a bad performance. You can have a good, it's just, it depends on the day. But I don't expect Devin Haney to have any problem with Yuriorkis Gamboa. I don't expect a knockout, but I don't expect him to have any problems with him. I don't expect him. But look, he said, I come here for real boxing discussions, no crap. And I try to stay away from it. But let's look. I'm going to do a little bit of a BFTB today. That's my dude. So watch this. I'm going to prove to you that that shit's not deep, right? So let's go to the box rec, okay? Now I think I can do this. I'll share my screen with you. I'm pretty sure I can do this and show you real time. Oh no, it has to be here. Okay, yeah, I have to be here. So, all right, so you guys should be able to see this. And all right, so watch this. Let's go to ratings. Okay, and we're going to go pro boxing. We'll do male. We're not going to do pound for pound. We're going to go to we're going to go to minimum weight. Okay, now active minimum weight. There are 50. Now watch, there's 50 fighters per page. You see this? 50 fighters per page. And you see these guys' records? Right? These are guys that have, how the fuck you rank number 21 with 4 fights? How can you be ranked with 4 fights? But anyway, let's go to see how many competitive fighters there are. So let's just say these guys are competitive, right? They have fights. Then we have the next one. So we're now at 100. But see, look, right now, we're on the second page, right? Look what the records turn into. 9-5-1, 4-2, 8-5, 3-2, 2-1, 6-3, 9-1, 5-1, 4-2, 4-2, 7-2. Dude, this is shit. Okay? These are shit. And look what all these guys. This is shit. Okay? These are not. These guys do not have a lot of experience, dog. When you can have 1, 2, how many fighters in the between 50 and 75 have over 25 wins? 1. How many have less than 10 wins? Roughly 20. How many of them in the top have losing records? 1. You have a guy who's ranked the number 54 minimum weight in the world has a losing record. The guy that's number 60 has a losing record. 61, losing record. These guys aren't fighting. How could you? So is there any depth to this? Any depth at all to that weight class? No. You got guys ranked number 30 who's 19 and 15 at number 30. 19 and 15 at number 30. Is there a guy who's the highest ranked guy with a losing record? Yeah, him. You got a guy in the top 30 with the losing record. Can't see anything? Oh, you couldn't see it? Oh, I know what to do. Here. Don't worry about it. I'll figure it out for another chat. I'll figure out another chat. Said exactly. No one in that weight class should be pound for pound easy to become a champion because there's no competition. Look, I'm going to read some other ones since you guys can't see it, okay? Now, that's minimum weight. And I'm going to look for how many, let's go to the next weight class. So there's less than 20, there's less than 50 top minimum weights in the world. Let's look at that versus welterweight. So if you look at male welterweights, right? First of all, there's thousands of them. And let's see the highest ranked guy with the losing record. Nobody in the top 50 with a losing record. Nobody in the top 100 with a losing record. Nobody in the top 150 with the losing record. Nobody in the top 200 with a losing record. I got to 200, and I still have not seen a welterweight with a losing record. Now I'm at 250. Nobody with a losing record. I'm at 300. There's nobody in the top 300 with the losing record at welterweight. I'm looking for the first losing record at welterweight. Nobody in the top 350 with a losing record. I'm going to have to just jump forward. I mean, when the fuck did they got somebody with a losing record? Nobody in the top 400 with a losing. Okay, so just right there with welterweight, you don't have anybody in welterweight in the top 500, in the top 400 so far with a losing record. You have a guy at minimum weight who is inside the top 25 with a losing record. If you go down, now let's look to see at flyweight. When does the first pop at flyweight? When does the weight class that these guys love to talk about, where you got guys like Takeshi Tanaki about to be on the pound for pound list? Let's see when the first fucking losing record pops up in this weight class. The bigger it gets, the more fighters that there are going to be. So let's just jump. Let's see if we can jump forward a bit. Oh, well within the top 100. I jumped to the top 100, but I already found one between 100 and 150. So let me back up and see if I can find somebody in the losing record before the top 100. But that's at 150. There's a losing record, dude. Okay, so nobody within the top 100. Let's see if, yeah, so it's at 150. You have a losing record. You have a losing record, a guy at 105 out of Osaka, Japan at flyweight with a losing record. While the welterweight division, you have to go, I didn't find one in the first 400. But yet you can be in the top, you can be in the top 50 at minimum weight with the losing record, and you can be in the top 100. You can be in the top 125 at flyweight with a losing record. I wonder when you can. Welterweight might even be further. So you get, that's my point. That's my point. This shit is bullshit where they start trying to sell you these little fucking fighters. Not saying that little fighters aren't fun to watch, but to compare them to the welterweights is ridiculous because there's not very many fighters. Like if I go to where does Monster Inoue fight? Superfly? He's the Superfly. Okay, and I'm going to do a real comparison here at Superfly. Jesus Christ, dude. You got guys at Superfly. Oh, Jesus. First of all, super flyweight of Rex ranking, they must have him. Let's see when you pop 5-1, 6-0 in the top 50. But let's just go down to 3 and see if we can pop some losing records. Yeah, losing record at 129. There's 2 guys back-to-back at 129 and 139 with losing records. And you got guys from 132 to 135 with records like this. 7-1, 7-0, 8-0, 8-16, 4-0, 5-0, 9-5. And that's in the top 100. You can make the top 150 in super flyweight with the losing record. But in welterweight, I'm going to try to jump just to like top 500. I'm just going to see if there's anybody at between 3. No, I already did that one. There is nobody at 300. There is nobody at 400, at 800. Now, see these guys, this is at 412. 412. Is this welterweight? No, this is Superfly. That's still Superfly. So if I go to welterweight, yeah, that was Superfly. I'm like, nah, they got that shit like 125 for as Superfly. Let's go to 8. That should be around 400, right? Let's see if we got any losing record. We don't have any losing records. They're already checked. So none there. Where's my first losing record? 421 for Issa somebody out of Caracas, out of France. Somebody out of France. The first person to have the highest rating person that I can see with the losing record at welterweight is the 421st person in the world. How can you say that those weight classes have the same amount of competition in them? You can't even fucking prove yourself at fucking flyweight or at minimum weight or flyweight. There's no fighters. And then there's another way you can look at it. Let's see when they just completely fall off, right? So we'll go to Superfly. And I'm going to go and tell you at what number of fighter they stop having competitive fighters at all. And that'll be the first page where nobody has double-digit wins. Where nobody, see, at 100 at flyweight, Superfly at, okay, everybody has double-digit wins in the top 100. Everybody has double digit. Whoop, number 36, 336. No double digit, no double. Not. I'm talking about double digit fights. I'm sorry, I meant to say double digit fights. First page where there's nobody in there with more. It's going to be around page. Is this welterweight? Oh, this is welterweight. Yeah, they're going to keep forcing me down when I do this. I'm going to go all day without finding somebody that way. I got to actually go to super flyweight. That's my bad. So if I go to super flyweight and I go to the what number do people stop having double digit fights? Not wins, double digit fights. Starts at around, oh my God, look at that shit. That's fucking crazy. From 151 to 100 to 200, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 people in the top 200 of super flyweight don't even have double digit fights. Don't have more than 11 fights. Why would you compare? So let's get this right. So the reason that these people are saying that, that black fighters, that American fighters are falling off is because they don't have American fighters in their top 20. But they put guys in their top 20 who are fighting at 105 where they don't have any competition whatsoever, where you have guys with losing records in their top 25, in their top 30 boxers, right? Where there may only be a legitimate 4 fighters in that fucking weight class. Legitimately 4 fighters in a weight class that somehow they're equal to fighters that fight in the welterweight division, where you literally have 500 people before anybody's ranked with a losing record. It's ridiculous. Matter of fact, it's better to think of, not that I don't have any problem. I don't have a problem with the lower weight classes, but I do have them being overrepresented, heavily overrepresented in pound for pound lists and in conversations about who are the best boxers. They are ridiculously over fucking rated. They are ridiculously overrepresented. To have guys like, because there was a point in time where you had 3 guys. 3 guys have been going around the pound for pound list who fight at super flyweight and below. And I just showed you there's no depth of competition there. And they're fighting in a country where there's no rich boxing tradition, where there's no big great lineage of great boxers out of fucking Japan. You got a couple of them. You got Yamanaka. You got, you have them here and there, right? Or you have boxers that are known to be good in that weight class because they're the best in Japan. But those weight classes aren't really international weight classes. Those are fucking domestic weight classes, Asian domestic weight classes. But they act as if winning a championship at 105, 108, and 112 is the same thing as winning championships at 135, 140, and 147. And those are absolutely, there's no fucking way that could be the case, because they're fighting with less competition in areas of the world that have less of a history in boxing and are, generally speaking, lower skilled training, right? Lower skilled trainers in an area with fewer boxers, and somehow you're gonna fucking try to change that shit around and put them ahead of guys like Gervonta Davis, Put them ahead of guys like Jermall Charlo. In order for Jermall Charlo to win a belt at 154 pounds, in order to become undisputed at 154 pounds, Jermall Charlo would have to beat Erickson Lubin, Tony Harrison, Julian Williams, Jason Rosario, Jarrett Hurd, Erislandy Lara, Austin Trout, Jaime Munguia, Teixeira, and anybody else that might come up from 147, like Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Kell Brook. All of these guys are fighters that you see fight on a fucking regular basis. And in order for and then Jermell Charlo also has to deal with guys that could be fighting at 160 pounds that choose to fight at 160, that choose to fight at 154 pounds. Jermell Charlo has to beat all of those level of guys, dude. There's not that much fucking talent at 120. There's not that much talent at 126 pounds. Who do you got at 126? Who is at 126 pounds? Right? You got, and I'm telling you, that's quite honestly, that's when boxing starts to get real. At 122 and 126, 130, 135. That's when boxing starts to get real. That's when you starting to get depth in divisions. When you start having, every country compete in that division, right? So the United States, last time I checked, there's nobody from the United States there might be one or two people from the United States that fight at minimum weight at all. Matter of fact, I don't think the United States has an active fighter below 108 pounds. I think there might have been one guy at 108, but and then maybe a couple at 112. And that works for every boxing country in the world, with the exception of these places: Mexico, Japan, and like Thailand, and the rest of the Asian countries. Those are the only countries that can consistently field fighters below the weight of 115 pounds. So why would you rank, if you don't have any Americans in those divisions, if you don't have very many Russians in that division, you don't have any Ukrainians in that division, you don't have any Canadians in that division, you have very few South Americans in that division, why would you put that division on par with a weight class like middleweight, where you literally have world-class middleweights damn near in every fucking country? Check them. There is a world-class middleweight in almost every major boxing country. You've got a world-class middleweight from Mexico. You've got multiple world-class middleweights from the United States. You've got world-class middleweights. You got world-class middleweights / super middleweights from the UK. You got world-class middleweights, welterweight / middleweights, that range from the Ukraine. They got 154 pound, I think he's a Ukrainian, that is that's number one, that might be the number one mandatory for the WBA 154 pound championship. You have every country, most major countries in boxing have a good number of competitive fighters fighting at lightweight, junior welterweight, super welterweight or junior middleweight, 168, 175. Almost everybody has fighters fighting at those weight classes. Very few have anybody fighting below that weight, below the 118 pound range. Which is why when HBO did Superfly, they couldn't have any American fighters on there. Because nobody, the only American fighter that is like Rasheed Warren. Rasheed Warren out of Cleveland, Ohio. Shout out to Rasheed Warren. I ain't forget about you, baby. I know we got a real one down there. But dude, how many people are that fucking size? You know what I mean? I mean, you talking about Rasheed Warren, you're talking about somebody that is somebody as little as Shakur Stevenson is like, damn, that motherfucker little. Like, Shakur Stevenson's little. That motherfucker's super little. They just don't have the competition. So the idea that these guys would crap on like this card, dude, this card is the card, Showtime boxings. That shit is thick as shit. I mean, that card, the things that they released, dude, that shit is heavy with excellent fights, dude. And I still will tell you that the best card that I have seen, the best non-pay-per-view card, and by the way, the best cards, top to bottom cards, shouldn't even be, usually, if things were right, wouldn't even be pay-per-view. Because pay-per-views tend to be very top-heavy. Like Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and then after that, shit, they getting paid all the money. You don't know what the fuck is happening after that. But when HBO put on Erickson Lubin, Jermell Charlo, Austin Trout, Jarrett Hurd, I think Erickson Lubin was on that. Who did Erickson Lubin? Erickson Lubin fought Jermell Charlo. Austin Trout fought Jarrett Hurd. Erickson Lubin fought Gaucher. And I think there was another fight on that card. Oh, that shit is thick. That shit is thick. Thick. Because the division is thick. Because the division is deep. But they're trying to celebrate. That shit's just fucking make-believe. If I start a division, if I put a bunch of television cameras in, or like kind of like what happened with when the YouTube guys were fighting. If they decided to invest a bunch of money in YouTube fights, and then people are like, ooh, I think KSI deserves to be in the top 10 because KSI beat Superwoman, and then he moved on and he beat Cutie Pie, and then shit, he even beat, well, you know, he wore loaded gloves against Willie D. And he wore loaded gloves against Willie D. And Willie D got robbed, but fuck it, he won it. So we think he's a top 10 pound for pound fighter because you're trying to sell those bullshit ass fights. Anyway, man, I could go on that shit forever, man, about that dumb shit, man. From now on, I want to hear you, please. What is that? The Bronner Garcia cards were good. Yeah. I'm actually looking. Oh, yeah, Lubin Gaucher. Yeah. Because, see, Lubin Gaucher, the reason that Lubin Gaucher is a good fight, could I run through my top 20? I'll in no particular order? Sure, why not? Let me write them down. 1, Crawford. In no particular order. 2, Loma. 3, Spence. I will rank steroid users. I'll rank steroid users to make it easy. 4, Canelo, not in any order. Canelo. 5, should I use heavyweights? Yeah, I'll use heavyweights. Fury. 6, Wilder. 7, let me see. I also got Haney. 8, Charlo. Another one is Beterbiev. Another one is Usyk. Another one is, what's that dude's name? Bradis. Rigondeaux. Teofimo, Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez, Inoue, Monster, just call him Monster. Manny, damn, can't believe I forgot Manny. 18, Manny. Porter, Ennis, Did I forget anybody? Did I forget Shakur Stevenson? Fuck, I forgot Stevenson. I forgot Gary Russell. Oh, 21. So I got to get rid of some people. Gary Russell Jr. I will throw off Bradis for Gary Russell Jr. So Gary Russell. Yeah, those are generally right around there. Plant. I would put in there. You got David Benavidez. In the smaller weight classes, I do believe, Noradim Obali and might slide in there. Obali might slide in there, but I'm not going to put him in there over Rickendow. I'm damn sure not going to put who's at 130? I mean, Burchelt is pretty decent. Yeah, I know, but Bear Lightfoot, I did any order. He said, give me 20. I just gave you 20 guys. Now, there might be some guys that I'm not going to put Ioka. Tank is on there. Yeah, Tank is there. But see, that's how I would do it. If I had to get rid of somebody, who would I put Tank over? I would put Tank over Ennis. So I'll take Ennis off and I put Tank on there. But Doug, for 20, that's what I'm saying. You don't find but 2 Americans in your top 20. There's guys that only got 2 Americans in their top 20. So they can fill this top 20 without mentioning more than 2 of the following fighters. Crawford, Spence, Wilder, Haney, Charlo, Beterbiev, Gary Russell Jr., Teofimo Lopez, Jose Ramirez, Sean Porter, Stevenson, or Gary Russell Jr. or Stevenson. But I mean, in order to give an exact 20, I mean, I would have to think about that. But I know, people can have difference of opinions. Yeah, but Mikey Garcia could be in there too, right? Mikey Garcia could be in there too. But you're asking me to give me 20, so I just named 20. But when you say Mikey Garcia, I can say, yeah, who is there that I would take off for Mikey Garcia? Well, let's throw off the steroid cheats. Canelo, put Mikey Garcia there because he cheated, right? Let's throw off Tyson Fury because he's a steroid cheat. And we can throw in, somebody else you want me to throw in there. I ain't throwing Loma off there, dog. Nah, hell no. I ain't putting Bronner over Gary Russell Jr., dog. Not a motherfucking chance, dog. Skinny Kenny said it would be difficult to find enough women past the 11th grade and high school age to fill the weight classes 126 and down and not forfeit their weight classes. Exactly. So now see, here's the thing. They're overselling these little motherfuckers because they say, well, the little weight classes don't get nearly enough credit. Yes, them motherfuckers do. They get a lot of credit. They get way more. I put Jermell in there. It's tough. But yeah, so if I got to take Jermell in, cool. If I miss Jermell for some reason, take Porter off, throw Jermell there. All of those guys are very close. They're all very close in skill. There's not, that's something we as boxing fans, or at least I hear boxing fans doing a lot. We talk as if there is monstrously, there's some gigantic gap in skill between a lot of these fighters. Dude, there's not a lot of room. There's not a lot of room between a lot of these fighters, dude. Not a lot. There's not a lot of room between Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney. Even though I say, right now, I might favor Gervonta Davis, even though I think, now I'm not going to tell you who I favor because truthfully, I don't favor anybody in that fight because I don't think that fight's ever going to happen. I think that Devin Haney's going to be at welterweight, and I think Devin Haney's going to be at welterweight right around the time Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz go to middleweight, and that Gervonta Tank Davis needs to have his little ass sitting there at 135 pounds because he's just not the same size of guy as Devin Haney is. If Tio beats Loma, where do you put him pound for pound? I'd have to see the fight. Depends on how the fight plays out. Top 10. I mean, I take Loma out of the top. What I would do, I'd put Loma out of the top 10. I might not put Teofimo Lopez in there. It depends on the fight. Just depends on the fight. How it goes. It just depends on how the fight goes. But I will tell you, I think Teofimo Lopez is one of the best of those young fighters. Like, as far as like the young guys come up, like that next generation of fighters, the ones that are going to replace, the guys that we have now. Because like I think like the current level of champions, like the current, like those are the Errol Spences, Terrence Crawford, Vasily Lomachenko, Gary Russell Jr., Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua at lightweight. The Beterbievs, the Bivol is still not really gotten his chance to really explode like that. But, the Bivol, Beterbiev, those guys, the next level after them are going to be the guys like Baranga, the guy that, has got the 14 fight knockout streak, Puerto Rican dude out of New York, Shakur Stevenson, Jaron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, Chris Colbert, and that's another thing about this card, dude. You got Chris Colbert. You got Chris Colbert headlining the card. Man, that dude is, as much as we talk about like Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson and Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Gervonta at that weight class, people aren't forget to mention Chris Colbert. Because dude, Chris Colbert is the real deal, man. Is the real deal. And is very highly regarded by a lot of boxing aficionados. But Teofimo Lopez, I have to tell you, now it could have been because of who I talked to, because I don't have any access, nor do I really want any access to talk to people from the Mayweather gym, right? Or people from like that follow Devin Haney in his amateur career and are really, very like the Mickey Bays and Mike McCallum's, guys like that have worked with Devin Haney, that really know Devin Haney. I've never really had the opportunity to talk to them, but when Teofimo Lopez was coming out and he was coming up, out of the amateurs, and he really started kicking off with Top Rank, I had an opportunity to talk to guys whose kids fought him in the amateurs, guys that, camps, professional camps, that knew of him, and asked him, not on camera, but away from camera, like, dude, who do you think the best is between Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez? Like, who do you think the best guy is? And pretty regularly, they would say Teofimo Lopez. Pretty regularly, like more so than I got. My question was answered Teofimo Lopez more than it was answered that way for any other fighter. That's how high people were holding Teofimo Lopez. So, man, Teofimo Lopez is the real. From everything that I hear, Teofimo Lopez really is the real. He is the real deal. And the way he ran through Richard Comey, I don't think that can be. That should not be ignored. But those are the next generation of fighters that are really, really going to be on top. I mean, Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has the most marketing potential. But I don't know. Now, if he was coming up at a different time where there wasn't all this heat, Ryan Garcia might be golden. I mean, it might be like, damn, yeah. But he's coming up at a time when he's coming up in a stacked lightweight division. Stacked. You know what I mean? Stacked. So we'll see with Ryan Garcia. But I like Ryan Garcia. I don't have anything, I like how he carries himself. I like how he carries himself. I like his self-belief. I like him. I like him the same way. Yeah, exactly. Oh, 160. Like, yeah, man, come on, man. Let's get the likes up. I haven't even asked for it, dude. I haven't asked, man. But if you guys wouldn't mind, just take a couple seconds. Let's put a little pause in it. We got 314 people in the building. Can we get the likes up over 300 or the accumulation over 300? And I'll take a sip of what's little left of my coffee while y'all hit that like button. 2 minute, hey, we're called hit the like button break. Hit the like button break. Lil B Hop is official for sure. That was my hit the like button break. Let's hope the likes flew up. I got a question about Ryan's chin. Time will tell. Yeah, I mean, but I got that. I have the same question about everybody's chin. I don't think Ryan's anything different with his chin. It's just his shit sits up like this. You know, it's because shit sits up like that, which makes me worry about his chin. Because now oh yeah, that's just what's up. Oh yeah, yep, Jupiter B, and that's another reason why these cards are so good, because these cards lead to other fights. Like, they lead to other fights. These fights aren't just fights for no fucking reason. Chris Colbert is shit. Is he the PBC's top lightweight? No, because Gervonta Davis is. But Chris Colbert, I mean, that's a dude that's going to be fighting for a lightweight title. Erickson Lubin, the winner between Erickson Lubin and Gaucher is going to be in line for a fight with the winner of Jermall Charlo versus Rosario. You know? Yes, sir. Black Star Sports TV said boxing is back now. Yeah. Now this shit is bringing boxing back. That's some bring boxing back shit. And you know what else? It's crazy. Dude, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what this what the Fox announcement is going to be. Because you know the Fox announcement is going to be coming pretty soon. Oh, and yeah, let me get back to Jupiter B. He said Lipinets and Kurt, what's his name? You're saying Curtillo, but I thought it was Kurstides. Winner will be the Spence's IBF mandatory, and Goshaw Lubin will likely get a shot at the Charlo versus Rosario or Teixeira. PBC cards have purpose. Absolutely, dog. Absolutely. Let's see what he likes is at. Yeah, my likes is still lagging, dog. We ain't even at 200, man. Come on, let's keep it pushing. Come on, man. Seriously, I need them. I need it so the notifications will come out. Okay, even if you don't like me, dog, hit the like button so my notifications will come out. Hook me up, okay? Hook me up, dog. People in the super chats are the ones that support the channel, right? Pay for the lights and all that shit associated with this, because, you know, the shows don't get put on for free. We got internet bills. We got to pay for microphones, lights, all that. The people that in the super chat, they support with all of this shit, okay? So at least hold them down and support the channel with the likes, okay? So that way the notifications can go out, because we don't know what's going on with YouTube's algorithm and what makes them remind you that it's coming out. But if you hit the like button, more than likely, you're going to get reminded the next time this live stream is done, okay? So if you don't hit the like button, dog, don't tell me, oh yeah, I didn't get a notification. Because, dude, if you didn't like it, that means that you didn't give it any action. And YouTube very well might say, well, I guess you didn't like the live stream very much. So, you know, next time Fannon comes on, we're not going to give you the notification. You know what I mean? So for you trolls, that's very valuable. You know what I mean? It's very valuable. Because how else are you going to get kicked out if you don't know that the show has begun? You know what I mean? Tank probably walks around about $160. Tank looked like he walking around about $160. $155, $160. That's a big ass dude, dog. That's a big ass dude. Okay. What do I think about Lewis? Oh, let me go to Tyson first. Fannon, did you talk about the potential Haney-Gamboa fight? Yo, I did a video on it yesterday, and I'm super excited about it. Super excited about it. And what I'm hoping is going to happen, this is what I'm hoping, okay? I'm not saying this is the case. I'm saying this is what I want the case to be, okay? No inside information here. Don't take this and run with it and say, you know, that you heard that this is real. This is just me in my head, putting pieces together and thinking, okay, this might, damn, I'm gonna show all my ghetto. Mike could pop off. Mike could pop off. Interesting thing about that, the way that language works, that's probably the best way to say it. Mike could pop off. Is that Devin Haney fights Yuriorkis Gamboa? on the Errol Spence Jr. Danny Garcia undercard. Please, can we get it? Please, can we get it? Can we get it? Can we get it? Can we get it? Can we get Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, co-main event, Devin Haney, Yuriorkis Gamboa? I will pay for that shit and let it be on Fox. And the reason why I think it's possible, okay, is because Devin Haney, because DAZN got rid of Michael Hunter, right? Because they said that they have to re-strategize what they're doing, right? So re-strategizing what you're doing, yeah, no, that means that a lot of the fighters that were on DAZN ain't going to be fighting for those paydays on DAZN. So guys like Tevin Farmer, what's his name? Michael Hunter, who's a very good fighter. Both those guys are very good fighters. Demetrius Andrade, Devin Haney. Hey, man, they might be able to make fights. So they might be able to say, hey, look, we don't really know if we can afford to pay you for this shit. Let's let you up out of that. Let's let you out that contract. And maybe that would allow. Maybe that would allow Devin Haney to fight on the PBC, because I already know, or at least I believe, based on my interpretation of what I heard, or at least my impression from what I heard from Bill Haney, that Devin Haney has the right, like, to fight on another network for other promoters if Matchroom can't match what they're getting from the other promoter. And seeing as Showtime has shown that they are believing in pay-per-view, like they're using pay-per-view, I think, in a beautiful situation. Like this is probably this could be the best opportunity or the best time for pay-per-view, because there's no gates, right? And the only way to get the big fighters together is for a pay-per-view. And boxing fans understand why they would price it that way, right? It's not like you can get some other good fights that are, just as good but aren't on pay-per-view. Lamage Productions said, "Keep up the good work. Like what you're doing for boxing." Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. We trying to get it done. Fannon the matchmaker. Hell yeah, I'd love to see that. That shit would pop off. And Devin Haney, pay him some good money. Yuriorkis Gamboa is just going to be looking for a payday. You know what I mean? Give them a percentage of the pay-per-view. They might pop off. But more than likely, they're probably going to pay. That's what I would like to see. But I want to see Devin Haney at the PBC. Like, because, dude, when he gets to 147, there's going to be fighters for him to fight there, man. I just think that would be a great contribution. Or, because Devin Haney, there's other free agents like Regis Prograis. Now that's who I think would be when. Now I know Devin Haney is a champion. I know he's a champion, and I'm not going to diminish his championship. But the fight that I think would be a great step up fight for Devin Haney is Regis Prograis. Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis would be the shit, man. Oh man, that would be a great fight, wouldn't it? I would love to see that fight, dude. That would test at 140 pounds. It'll test Regis Prograis. It'll test Devin Haney. It's a for real fight, right? Gotta love it, dude. And it's an even match. I think it's a pretty. Devin's probably the more skilled fighter, right? But Regis Prograis is a fucking dog. So Regis Prograis, Devin Haney would be the shit. It'd be the shit, and they could get that shit popping on Fox. And another good reason, a reason why that's probably better for Devin, is because if he fights on Fox, Fox is free television. That means he's going to be seen by a lot more people. And we know about Devin Haney, right? But Devin Haney's been he fought on Showtime, right? Which was good, but Showtime is bigger than DAZN. So he went from the Showtime network onto a smaller network. But if he shifted from DAZN to Fox, then it's like, okay, now everybody gets to see him. Fights can get big. People will want to fight him. And we might get, we really might get the next generation of great fighters really off and popping. You know what I mean? I'm really encouraged by Showtime's thing, man. Because I didn't think boxing was coming back at all. this year. But hey, as long as COVID don't hit none of these fights, and I would doubt though, like I will say this, and I don't want to put any jinx on anybody, I can't see all of these fights going through without that bug hitting somebody. You know what I mean? So some of that lineup might change. Some of the lineup might change, but hopefully it doesn't change. It changes early enough where where you can get a quality opponent for it, and you don't have to shut down the card, man. But it was just really good stuff. He said that fight goes the distance because Devin can't hurt Regis, but Regis might get outpointed. Regis has power. Yeah, that's a great fighter, dude. Quan 43 said Devin Haney will beat Regis Prograis. I mean, he very well may be. I'm not, but he's gonna have to fight that motherfucker for sure. He might beat him, but hey, he gonna try to put all that ass whooping up on Devin Haney. Believe it. He's coming with that smoke. But Devin Haney's skill set is top notch. It's varied. He can do a lot of things, and I'm believing what these. I mean, I'm listening to what these guys are saying about Devin Haney out of Mayweather Gym. The things that Mickey Bay are saying about him, and how he's gotten a lot better since his last fight. When you're at that age, dude, you can continue to get better. He's got an excellent pedigree. He's got an excellent team around him. Shit, the motherfucker can be something. Junior B said, "For now, I mean to call him a motherfucker. I'm sorry, man. I'm being a little more loose today than I usually would be." Yeah, exactly. I like Haney, but Regis a dog. He should clean up 135 if he can get the fights. You know what I mean? If he can get the fights, because Bob Arum, man, dude, Top Rank's a fucking scam. I mean, don't get me wrong, they got really good fighters, but that's an in-house scam over there. They're not fucking around trying to give they're not trying to give you really great fights. They're trying to get good value propositions for themselves. You know what I mean? They're trying to make the worst good fight possible at Top Rank. The worst acceptable fight possible. Like Lomachenko, how close do you get it? You know what I mean? James Evans said, "I'm new to the channel, but I love boxing, and you and a few other are bringing boxing back. Salute, big bro." Thanks, man. I appreciate that, man. We keep on grinding on the boxing, dog. Ain't shit changing. I've been a boxing fan for over 40 years. We gonna keep it rolling, dog. That's how we do. But look, man, much love to everybody, man. Look, we got 133 people in the building. We got 216 likes. Is there any way we can get this motherfucker up over 300? That would be great. Are you gonna watch the Virgil Ortiz fight? Yes. I will not miss a Virgil Ortiz fight. Virgil Ortiz, I'm glad you brought up Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz is one of those guys can be serious shit in the sport of boxing, dog. And the reason why I say that is because I watched somebody watch his fight. I will freely admit I'm a boxing fan, right? So I don't see the same things that somebody like Buddy McGirt would see, right? I don't see the same things as something like Ronnie Shields or Andre Ward or fighters would see, right? Now I've seen a lot of boxing matches, so I have my own way that I process it, my own way that I think about stuff, right? Which works a lot of times for me, right? It works. But I love to watch very knowledgeable boxers, like technical boxing fans, watch fighters and look what they do. So I saw Virgil Ortiz was sparring somebody, and I think Gervonta Davis was watching the sparring match. And Gervonta Davis was watching the sparring match ooh, their eyes were like this. They were focused on Virgil Ortiz. They didn't do like Terrence Crawford said he did with Carlos Ocampo, the guy that was the IBF mandatory for Errol Spence, the guy that he knocked out with a body shot the fight before the Mikey Garcia fight, Carlos Ocampo. Well, Terrence Crawford said when he said he looked at Carlos Ocampo, he's like, this guy got no chance, right? That's not the facial expression that I saw on Gervonta Davis's face when he was watching watching Virgil Ortiz fight. Who you got, Mel or Jermell? Jermell Charlo. He's a better fighter than J-Rock. He's a better fighter than J-Rock. And he's a better fighter than Nathaniel Gallimore. He's a better fighter than Jason Rosario. Much faster, and he's got power. So if the same shit that Jason Rosario was hitting, that J-Rock was hitting Jason Rosario with, that's just gonna have a little more smoke coming from Jermell Charlo. And also Jermell Charlo doesn't fight only at mid-range or predominantly at mid-range. That's what, like, J-Rock is a pocket fighter. At least that's the way that he was very successful against Jarrett Hurd, was fighting in the pocket. But when you're fighting in the pocket and you get hit and you don't have the best chin in the world, all of a sudden Jermall Charlo got you fucking looking up. You fight a good fight, but all of a sudden, you like, what the fuck happened, right? And same thing with, like, when he fought Jason Rosario. I thought he was winning rounds against Jason Rosario in the early part of the fight. But when Rosario started hitting him with that shit, when he started putting them claps down on him, his head got light than motherfucker. You know what I mean? But he's right there because he's just slipping and he's getting clipped, getting clipped, right? Jermall Charlo doesn't have to fight like that. Jermall Charlo can be all the way out of range when he wants to be all the way out of range. So if Jermell Charlo got clipped or got buzzed, Jermell Charlo can go a minute without you touching him. You know what I mean? He can move and get out of there. I don't know. I don't think Jason Rosario is going to be able to fight the same fight against Jermell Charlo that he fought against J-Rock. Yeah, and Charlo has, exactly, Sign of the Time says, I think Charlo has experience advantage, but Rosario is a game opponent. I would agree with that. 100%. I'm not saying that there's no way that Jermell Charlo that Rosario can win that fight. And definitely not with those two belts on the line, because those belts got a fucking jinx on them. Like, God dog. You know what I mean? But the jinx is on Jason Rosario now. The odds, actually, some portions of the odds favor Jason Rosario. Because what's the chances that both of those belts, the WBA belt and the IBF belts, are going to get bounced in 3 straight fights? You know what I mean? Like, if you're playing cards, you're looking at the odds, you're like, shit, if you take the fighters out of it, you're like, damn. That belt has changed hands 2 consecutive times. Yeah, 2 times in a row. Were they both by stoppage? By stoppage. Both by stoppage. No. Jarrett Hurd didn't stop him. Jarrett Hurd didn't get stopped. Jarrett Hurd just got beat up. But J-Rock got stopped. He said, yeah, you better knuckle up that chain strap. What's that? According to BoxRec, Charlo's have longer reach than Rosario. Charlo has a longer reach than Rosario. I mean, Charlo's a big 154. Marvin Ness said, great chat, Fannon. Intense. Keep up the energy. Salute to you in the chat. Oh, man, for sure, man, for sure. Some days I'm just amped. Some days I'm not as amped. But, today it's like, man, I'm just really happy the boxing's back, man. I really, really am, dude. I really am. Because we got great fighters, man. We got great fighters. A lot of great fighters that we're going to be able to get to see again. Anyway, man, but look, I got to get out of here. I'm running over my time. Rosario by robbery. They've done it before. They'll do it again. I don't think they'll do it to him like that. Not for Rosario. No, I mean, that's just straight up, dog. I said Rosario's 6'2". I mean, he's a big dude. But being big also means it's tough for you to make weight. So that could go either way. However, I don't think Rosario's bigger than Jermall. And I bet you this. I bet you Jermell would, if Jermell and Jermall weren't brothers, them shits would be a good-ass fight, dog. So I doubt that Jermell Charlo ain't used to fighting guys. Like, his brother is better than Jason Rosario. You know what I mean? His brother is like Jason Rosario times 3. That's Jermell. Because Jermell has everything Jason Rosario has, plus a bunch of shit. So, if he goes into the mindset like he's fighting his brother, a guy of that, like his brother's caliber treats him like that, he'll be able to prepare for that fight well, because there's things that Jason Rosario likes to do from what I've seen of Jason Rosario, right? Jab, straight right, left hook, nothing really seems, but very, very heavy-handed, you know? Said Arrow's better than Rosario. Yeah, he's a better fighter than Rosario. I don't know if he's a bigger puncher than Rosario, though. And he's not as big as Rosario. But Jermall is. Jermall is as big as Jason Rosario. He's a much better fighter than Jason Rosario. He's probably got a bigger punch than Jason Rosario with both hands, better jab, all of that. So dealing with somebody like Jason Rosario, for a guy like Jermell who grew up sparring and with his brother, I think that might be, you know, shit. Jason Rosario might be tailor-made for that dude, you know? Who actually thought Harrison beat Charlo? It ain't that far-fetched. A lot of people, it was a close fight, man. I mean, I could see an argument that Harrison beat Charlo. I didn't think he did. I was shocked by the decision, you know? Daryl Lightfoot, who's the better Charlo? I can't tell you. I couldn't even speak on it. I think they both bring different things to the table. From what I saw out of Jermall is a very intelligent fighter. From what I saw of Jermell is a mean motherfucker. You know, so I think the meaner fighter is probably Jermell. Like, Jermell is the one that I would be worried about. Like, this motherfucker's a little bit crazy. You know, Jermell got that little bit of crazy in him, which makes him very, very fucking dangerous. Because when it's time to go, he's going to go. And he ain't going to hesitate on you. You know what I mean? You think Jay Harrison was dominating the second fight? I didn't think so. I thought in the second fight that you know, a lot of the people watching the fight thought he was, but I thought it was a close fight. Really glad we didn't have to worry about it though, because his ass got put bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? He got put bye-bye. Oh, but you do have a great trainer in Derek. Fannon 100 going to see KQKC. That's what's up. I got to get out of here. Much love to everybody in the chat. Make sure you guys go over to KQKC. And with that, I'm out. Peace.